Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. This week I'm going to be doing 2 lunches for meal prep. I was going to prep some breakfast sandwiches, but I decided to kind of play it by ear with breakfast this week. So I will make breakfast sandwiches on as I want them in the mornings or whatever I feel like having for breakfast. So I'm going to prep my lunches, which I'm going to do. One of the lunches is going to be an orange chicken with a cauliflower fried rice. The other one is going to be egg roll in a bowl. So first up, we're going to do the orange chicken. Let me show you what we're going to put in that. So we have our rotisserie chicken breast strips. It's kind of a little nice little shortcut. I'm going to go ahead and put these in the microwave, heat them up a little bit. They are fully cooked, but I'm going to heat them up so we can cook them in the sauce. And the sauce we're going to be using is going to be the G. Hughes sugar-free orange ginger marinade. Since it is a little bit thin, I think I'm going to add just a little bit of cornstarch to that as well. And that way I kind of get a little bit of a thicker sauce. So I'll show you how we're going to do all that. And then we're going to do some cauliflower fried rice. So we'll use the cauliflower, we'll add some peas and carrots, and then we're going to top off the whole thing with some green onions and some sesame seeds, which I'll have to grab the sesame seeds. I'm going to use a little bit of this sugar-free stir-fry sauce for the cauliflower rice. I just like the taste of this in that. So let's go ahead and put this meal prep together. Okay guys, so in this pot here, I am going to add in the chicken. I just heated it up in the microwave. And then we are going to add in some of this. I think I'm going to start with a 1/4 cup. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of cornstarch to a little bit of this, so that or maybe a little bit of water. I think I'll add the cornstarch to a little bit of water and then add this in here. Okay, I'm just doing 1/3 cup of water with a 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch. And then I think I'll just do 1/3 cup of this marinade. I'm going to shake it up really well because if you can see here at the bottom where there's like pieces of the ginger and stuff at the bottom. I'm not a huge ginger fan, so I'm not adding ginger to this. I'm just going to add the sauce. I am going to add a little bit of garlic powder just to add just a little bit of more flavor. And we'll just have to see how that thickens up and crystallizes. So I'm just going to bring that to close to a boil and then just let it simmer until the sauce gets kind of thick. And in the meantime, we will work on the cauliflower rice. I did put the cauliflower rice in the microwave for about 4 minutes just to get it thawed out. And then what we are going to do is just cook it down until it starts getting kind of crispy on the bottom of the pan. That's how I like it the most because it just really cooks it down really well. I am going to add in some spices, so let me go ahead and grab those and show you what spices I'm going to use. I'm going to add in some onion powder, garlic powder, and some red pepper flakes. So I'll add those in there. I don't really have measurements for them. Maybe let's just say maybe a 1/2 teaspoon of each one, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon. The red pepper flakes definitely not a 1/2 teaspoon. These are definitely just a sprinkle, maybe an 1/8 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Leave those out if you don't like spicy, because these are pretty spicy. And then onion powder. I mean, cauliflower rice, of course, can be super bland, so it's just a way to add in some of that extra flavor. So I have this on about, I think I'm going to turn this up to about 7.5 on my oven and then on my stovetop. And I'm just going to, like I said, just kind of let that cook down until it's almost all the way cooked down to how I like it. And then we'll add in the peas and carrots and the stir-fry sauce. So this is looking really good. You can see here it really thickened up really well, starting to kind of crystallize. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this down to simmer and just let this simmer until the cauliflower rice is done. And then we will put this meal all together. Okay, we're going to add in some of the stir-fry sauce. Just a little bit. You can also add in like soy sauce, coconut aminos, liquid aminos, any of those things if you don't want to use the stir fry or you don't have the stir fry, but I just like the flavor of that. And then we're going to add in some peas and carrots. And once the peas and carrots get cooked through and thawed out, really basically, this part will be done. Okay, so I'm making 2 of these. I don't think I mentioned that this is going to be for 2 days. I'm just going to put these in my meal prep containers, and I'll grab the chicken and I'll show you how I top it off. Okay, here we have our chicken. I'm just going to put that right on top here. I like to add some green onions on top. And then also have some sesame seeds. The only sesame seeds I have are black sesame seeds because I had these for a recipe. I'm just going to sprinkle those on. And let me go ahead and show you what that looks like. So here is meal number 1 for lunches, a chicken, or actually it's a orange chicken bowl with cauliflower fried rice. And you can see how that turned out. I will have the points, calories, and protein here on the screen, and then we will go to our second lunch for this week. Second lunch for the week is going to be an egg roll in a bowl. I'm doing mine a little bit different. I will have a recipe link down below, but I do mine just a little bit different because I like to kind of change it up and I have different flavors I add to it. First up, you need some sort of meat. I'm using ground chicken. You can use pork, chicken, beef, turkey, whatever you want, any kind of ground meat. So I have a pound of ground chicken. I am going to add green beans, which is not typical of this recipe. I will cut these up. And then also coleslaw. This is usually the only ingredient that is in most of these, but I like to add extra veggies. So we have the coleslaw, we have the green beans, and then I'm also adding in some broccoli slaw. So I'll use this entire bag of the coleslaw because of course it's going to shrink down quite a bit. I'll probably use about half the bag of the broccoli slaw and just maybe like a quarter bag of the green beans. And then what I like to cook mine with is the coconut aminos. It's soy free, so I like to have that because I can be a little soy sensitive. Not too bad, but it can be an issue sometimes. So do like to go with the coconut aminos in this. And then I like to add in rice vinegar. That's just a preference. I just think it tastes really good to add into this. And then for the toppings, I like to top mine first with some fresh green onion. And then I also like to top it with some sort of sweet chili sauce. This is the one from Trader Joe's. It's only 20 calories for a tablespoon, which is about what you need. And then I like to add about a teaspoon of sesame oil on top, or actually what I probably will do is add a tablespoon to the entire batch and then mix it in there. So I like it best to mix in when it's all done cooking, because then you can really taste the sesame oil rather than putting it into the batch after it's cooked. I just think it has a better taste to it. So let's go ahead and grab our skillet, which we're just going to use the same one we used the cauliflower fried rice in because it has a lot of the same flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up my green beans, and then we will ground the meat first before we add in the rest of the veggies. I'm going to go ahead and add the green beans in with the meat while it's cooking. That way they get done. They get cooked a little bit more because we don't need to cook the coleslaw or the broccoli slaw for very long. So I'm going to just throw these in here. I'm going to add in a little bit of salt and pepper as well. Actually, I think I'm going to do the salt, pepper, garlic blend from Kinder's. I'm going to add in about a half a bag of the broccoli slaw. And then we're going to add in a whole bag of coleslaw. I'm going to go ahead and get this stirred around, and then we'll add in the rest of the ingredients. So I'm going to add in probably about a tablespoon of rice vinegar. Just like to kind of around there. And I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of the coconut aminos. And we may add more. We'll just see how this all mixes in. So I think that's going to be plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook until everything cooks down, and then I'll show you how I like to top it off with my other toppings. Okay, now that this is all done, I'm going to add in a tablespoon of sesame oil. Probably only let this cook for about, I don't know, 5 minutes is all it really takes to cook this down. If you were eating this right away, you may want to cook it down just a little bit more, but since I'm going to be reheating this for lunches, then I just about 5-10 minutes at the most is all I let the cauliflower, the broccoli slaw and the coleslaw kind of break down a little bit. But I add that sesame oil at the very end after I turn off the heat, and that just kind of helps just add just a little bit more flavor to it. Okay, so we have our meal prep containers here, and ideally I normally would weigh out the whole thing, but because the only point you're getting from this really is going to be the chicken, I'm just going to eyeball it because this is 4 servings. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and go from there. And I'll just plug everything in my tracker as 4 servings. And I feel like, my opinion, the egg roll in a bowl is always better the next day. I always think it makes really, really good leftovers. Because it's just, I don't know, just after the flavors, after everything sits there overnight, I feel like it tastes really good. So we're going to add on some green onion on top. Just adds a little bit of freshness to it. And then I'm going to add a tablespoon of the sweet chili sauce. G. Hughes also makes a sweet chili sauce that's sugar-free, but I can never find it anymore. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but I do recommend that one if you can find it. But I feel like nobody has it anymore. If you remember, I used to buy it all the time. But then I found this one at Trader Joe's for only 20 calories, so not bad. So let me go ahead and turn the camera around and show you what the final product looks like. Only doing 2 servings for my lunches, and then I have the other one to have for dinner or another lunch one day. But I'm just prepping up 4 lunches just to have for work. Anyway, here are the final egg roll in a bowl. I will have points, calories, and protein here on the screen. Here is our quick and easy. This took less than 30 minutes for this week's meal prep. Like I said, I didn't really need to prep anything for breakfast because I have plenty of things I can grab and go. I didn't need to prep any veggies or anything because I kind of took shortcuts this week and had some pre-cut ones. And I just have the little mini cucumbers, so I didn't really have to do a lot of prep this week. Didn't have a lot of time to do so this worked out good. Thank you guys, as always, for taking time out of your day to watch my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.